You do not want to move to the wrong suburb in Tampa. I've seen it too many times. Families drop $500,000 in the wrong fit just because someone online said
it was a top spot.
Spoiler, it wasn't. See, on the surface, a lot of these suburbs look the same. New builds, decent schools, close-ish to downtown. But the vibe, the traffic, the daily grind of living there, completely different story. Some of these spots are blowing up fast, with builders throwing up homes faster than roads can keep up. Others, quiet, hidden gems with real community, but no one's talking about them because they're focused only on the shiny new places. And then there's one suburb that might just check every box, but it's the last place you think to look. So don't click off, because I'm breaking down 9 of the best suburbs around Tampa, and trust me, this list could save thousands of months of research, thousands of dollars, and a whole lot of regret. So how do you actually figure out the best suburbs around Tampa? Because here's what I've seen. People get lured in by the photos, the pool, the price tag. Nobody talks about the stuff that matters once you move in. You can have the nicest house on the street, but if the traffic's a nightmare, the schools aren't what you thought, and there's nothing to do nearby, that dream move starts feeling like a mistake real quick. So here's how I built this list. First, commute time. Not just Google Maps on a Sunday afternoon, I'm talking real world weekday grind. You can get to the downtown, decent grocery stores, or the airport without losing your mind. Then, school zones, because great schools don't just help your kids, they protect your home's value. And I'm not going off test scores, I'm going off demand from real buyers and families I've worked with. Next, the lifestyle. Do you want quiet cul-de-sacs and backyard barbecues, or bars, brunch spots, and bike trails? Well, Tampa's got both, but in very different zip codes. Then there's growth and value. Where are the new communities popping up? What areas are holding strong, even in a weird market? And finally, the infrastructure. Because if the roads, the parks, and the schools aren't keeping up with the builders, you're signing up for a daily headache, not a fresh start. Now, this isn't some popularity contest. It's about how it feels to actually live there day in and day out. And that's why we're kicking it off with a suburb that's been making serious waves, tons of growth, tons of attention, and a lifestyle that's straight up Florida. And while not every suburb on the list today will be a one-size-fits-all for everyone's vibe, this one has been wearing the crown for the past few years. If you've been Googling Tampa suburbs for more than 5 minutes, Wesley Chapel has definitely popped up, and for good reason. This place has gone from sleepy outskirts to full-blown suburb superstar. So let me tell you why. First off, it's one of the fastest growing areas in the entire Tampa Bay region. We're talking massive expansion, new communities, new schools, new shopping centers everywhere you look. Builders are going wild out here. You've got master plan neighborhoods like Epperson, Union Park, Winding Ridge, and more, all packed with amenities. And yeah, we're gonna talk about it, the Lagoon. That 7-acre crystal blue surf and sand oasis in the middle of the neighborhood. That's not marketing hype, it's real. And it's part of what makes Wesley Chapel feel like resort living meets suburbia. This place was built for families, commuters, and honestly, anyone who wants that clean, HOA managed look with some serious lifestyle perks. We're talking trails, dog parks, community pools, splash pads, schools right inside the neighborhoods. Now, price-wise, it ranges. You can still find townhomes and smaller homes in the mid to high 300,000s, but if you want that brand new 4-bedroom with a 3-car garage, pond view, and quartz countertops, you're probably in the $500,000 to $700,000 zone, depending on the community. And here's the thing, people are moving here in waves, which is great if you want to be where the action is, but heads up, with growth comes traffic. I-75 and State Road 54 can get real tight during rush hour, especially near the Tampa premium outlets. And those CDD fees in some communities, not small. So always double check what you're paying for. Still, for most, it's worth it because you're getting big home energy, modern amenities, and a lifestyle that feels brand new, all just 30 to 40 minutes from downtown Tampa on a good day. And if you work from home buyer, Wesley Chapel might just be paradise. Now, Wesley Chapel is definitely shiny and new, but what if you're looking for something that feels a little more established, still close to the action, but with charm, walkability, and that already polished vibe? And hey, if you're sitting there thinking, yeah, but how do I actually choose between these places? That's literally what I help people do every day. Our info is right there on the screen. Shoot me a message and let's figure out which suburb actually fits your life, not just your budget. My team and I would love to be your local Tampa real estate team of choice. If Wesley Chapel is Tampa's new construction capital, Westchase is that polished, already thriving suburb that just works. You know those neighborhoods where everything feels balanced, where you can walk to dinner, hit a trail with your dog, and still be home in time to catch the game? Yeah, that's Westchase. This place is one of the most well-planned and sought-after communities in all of Tampa. And the moment you drive through, you'll see why. Tree-lined streets, winding sidewalks, manicured parks. It's got that clean, HOA maintained vibe without feeling sterile. It's refined, not robotic. And the lifestyle? Well, you've got the West Park Village at the heart of it all. Shops, restaurants, coffee spots, wine bars, little patios where people actually hang out. It's walkable, it's social. You'll see golf carts pulling up for tacos, kids riding bikes home from school, and runners out every morning like clockwork. Now, schools here, they're a big draw, zoned for top-rated public options. And if you're looking at resale value or future family planning, this area holds up well. So let's talk location, because this is where Westchase punches way above its weight. You're 20 to the airport and around 30 to downtown. So whether you're commuting to the office, traveling often, or just like being central to everything without being in the middle of the chaos, Westchase just nails it. Now let's talk homes. You're gonna see a mix here. Townhomes in the $350,000 to $450,000 range, mid-sized family homes starting in the $600,000s, and larger homes pushing into the $700,000s depending on updates and lot size. Everything feels move-in ready. You're not doing major renos out here. Now the community's already built out, and that's part of the appeal. You're stepping into something established. A couple of heads up though. Westchase does have HOAs and they keep things pretty dialed in. That's part of what makes it look so good. But if you're hoping to park your boat in the front yard or paint your house lime green, it might not be your scene. Bottom line, Westchase is where people move when they want community, class, and convenience without waiting on a new neighborhood to finish growing around them. But what if you want more space, more budget friendly, maybe a brand new build with all the shiny upgrades without crossing into that luxury pricing? Then this next one might be right up your alley. So maybe you want space, newer construction, and you're watching your budget like a hawk. Well, let me introduce you to Riverview, Tampa's go-to for getting more house for your money without drifting too far from the city. This suburb is about 25 minutes southeast of downtown Tampa, and it's where you'll find a ton of new development. There's gonna be builders like Lennar, D.R. Horton, Pulte. They've been going all in here for the last decade plus. Entire master plan communities are popping up, loaded with trails, dog parks, and community pools. And you've got places like Triple Creek, South Fork, Summerfield, and Belmont, where homes come with those nice modern finishes, granite, open concept kitchens, screened-in lanais, and most importantly, space. Think 3 or 4 bedroom homes starting in the mid to high 300,000s and 400,000s, even with a 2-car garage and a decent backyard. Now that kind of price point is getting harder and harder to find in Tampa Bay, especially for new builds. It's also popular with the military families because of how close it is to MacDill Air Force Base, and it's a solid fit for first-time buyers or folks coming from out of state who want new without needing luxury. But here's what I've got to give you a heads up on: the traffic. 301 and the Selman Expressway get jammed during commute hours. Not maybe jammed, definitely. And flood zones. Some of the lower lying areas near the Alafire River, you're gonna wanna do your homework before falling in love with that waterfront deal. That being said, for the right buyer, Riverview checks a lot of boxes. You're getting newer homes, family-friendly communities, and you're still within striking distance of downtown Brandon and interstate access. Now, if Riverview's got the value and scale, the next suburb brings structure, it brings schools, and that gated community feel people dream about when they're raising kids. Let's go ahead and head over to FishHawk Ranch, and just know this one's a heavy hitter. All right, if you're someone who's building your move around schools, structure, and that safe suburban dream life, you need to hear about FishHawk Ranch tucked inside the Lithia area. Let me just say it straight. This is the kind of suburb where parents move on purpose. They're not stumbling into it, they're targeting it. And once you're in, you get it. FishHawk is a master plan community done right. And I don't say that lightly. It's not just new homes and playgrounds. This place was built with long-term living in mind. You've got multiple gated sections, miles of walking and biking trails, A-rated schools, splash pads, fitness centers, and enough neighborhood amenities to keep the entire family moving without leaving the community. And when I say the schools here are some of the best in the state, I'm not talking about great on paper. I'm talking about families trying to rent within the zone just to get access. It's that serious. I worked with a family from New York last year. They had 2 kids, both in middle school, and FishHawk was the only suburb on their list. Not because of the price, not because of the builder, but because of the schools and the sense of community. We toured 3 neighborhoods, and by the end of it, their daughter had already made friends at the park. It was a done deal. Now the vibe here is very family first. It's not where you move for nightclubs or brewery crawls. It's where you move if you want structure, stability, and neighbors who say hi at the mailbox. That said, you're a bit tucked away. FishHawk sits around 45 minutes from downtown Tampa, depending on traffic. So if you're commuting into the city every day, this could wear on you. But for work from home families, military, or anyone who wants a little buffer from the city chaos, it's a total win. Homes here start in the high 500,000s to stretch well into the 800,000s for larger lots, pool homes, or upgraded builds inside the gated sections. There's still some resale inventory, but most of the community is established, clean, and high value. If you want that structured, all-inclusive suburban setup, this is the blueprint. It's intentional living at its finest. But let's say that you like that central suburban feel without the HOAs, the strict gates, or the master plan blueprint. You want space, you want character, and easy access to everything, and one of Tampa's oldest and most established suburbs that has everything you could want. Then you just wait for this next one. Let's get ready to switch gears, because not everybody wants cookie cutter community with 1,000 homes that all look the same. Some buyers want character, they want charm, a little space between the houses. They want neighborhoods that feel lived in, not just recently moved into. That's where Carrollwood comes in. This is one of Tampa's OG developments back in the 60s and 70s, and it's still one of the most underrated spots for buyers who want central location. They want mature neighborhoods and serious versatility. We're talking tree-lined streets, bigger lots, homes with personality. You got one-story ranchers, custom two-story, mid-century angles. It's not your master plan grid of sameness. It's got variety. And in today's market, that matters. You want to be near everything? Well, Carrollwood's location, it's hard to beat. You're 15 to 20 minutes from downtown Tampa, Tampa International Airport, USF, and even West Shore without being in the thick of that traffic soup. I had a couple from Chicago fly down last fall. We were showing homes all over the place. They were bouncing between new builds in Wesley Chapel and Westchase, but something just kept pulling them back to Carrollwood. You know what sealed the deal for them? I showed them the parks for the kids and how locals could go for a stroll on the golf course in the evenings. They were absolutely sold. That same afternoon, we put in an offer. Now, here's the vibe. This isn't your grab a latte, walk to yoga suburb. Carrollwood's for people who like space, privacy, and a little more freedom. You won't find HOA police counting how many cars you've got in the driveway. It's a bit more relaxed than that, but the residents still keep things pretty well kept. In fact, the neighborhood has a low HOA and no CDD at all. That means you've got room to breathe, room to customize, and for a lot of buyers, that's gold. Homes here range anywhere from the low 500,000s for a solid 3-bed ranch, and between 800,000 and just over $1 million for lakefront or fully renovated homes with pools and big yards or on the golf course. If you're the kind of buyer who wants a house with soul, not just square footage, Carrollwood delivers. It's central, flexible, and full of potential. But maybe you're craving even more space. Maybe you want land, lakes, a little peace and quiet, and a front porch that doesn't face 5 other houses. Well, then you need to head a tad more north, because that's where things start to open up, literally. If Carrollwood is where you go for charm and convenience, then Odessa and Keystone are where you go to get away from it all. This is for the folks who want space, privacy, and that Florida living on your own terms type lifestyle. I'm talking acreage, lakes, gated estates, and homes where you can actually hear yourself think. You drive into Odessa and everything changes. You're not surrounded by rows of identical rooftops. You're getting wide driveways, winding roads, and homes that are built, not stamped. A lot of these properties are custom built, some newer, some older, with serious character, but all of them feel like they were meant to be there. Some back up to water, some to conservation lots, and many come with guest houses, barns, or bonus garages for your boat, your RV, or classic cars you keep saying that you're gonna finish restoring. One of my recent clients was relocating from Texas, wanted horses, land, and peace. I took him through Keystone, and by the time we hit that second property, 3.5 acres, full wraparound porch, no HOA, he literally stopped me and said, "Adam, this feels like freedom." And that's exactly it. Odessa and Keystone feel like freedom. You're still only 30 to 40 minutes from downtown Tampa, but it feels like you're in another world. It's calm, it's green, and there's no one knocking on your door about your grass height. Now, this isn't the place if you want walkability or coffee shops on every corner. This is country suburb blend, not town center cute. And price-wise, it's a mixed bag. You've got dated 3-bedroom homes on a big lot in the 500,000s, but most of what people come here for starts in the $700,000 and $900,000 range and climbs into the millions fast if you're eyeing that waterfront estate or luxury new construction. This is the spot for people who don't want to be boxed in, who want land, luxury, and a little bit of breathing room without moving 3 counties away. But maybe your dream isn't space. Maybe it's salty air. Maybe you want that laid back, boat in the backyard, small town on the water vibe without the resort town chaos. Well, there's a spot that delivers all of that, and it's up next. Now it's time to take it coastal, because if you've been thinking, man, I wish I could live near the water without the beach town prices or constant tourist traffic, you're describing Palm Harbor and the small area of Ozona you just didn't know about yet. Now, this is one of those sneaky good areas that doesn't get flashy headlines, but once you see it in person, you start thinking, wait, why aren't more people talking about this? Well, let's go ahead and talk about Palm Harbor first. This is that classic Florida suburb with coastal access, great schools and neighborhoods that feel established, but not outdated. You've got homes with character, mature trees, and some really nice zoning that keeps it feeling local instead of overdeveloped. The school ratings here, solid. I have clients that moved here just for Palm Harbor University High School. Now, just west of Palm Harbor, you've got Ozona, and this place, it's a vibe. It's funky, artsy, golf carts on the streets, people kayaking out of their backyards kind of energy. You've got waterfront bungalows, dive bars with $1,000,000 sunsets, and a little marina where folks gather for drinks and boat talk. And a personal favorite of mine is Molly Goodhead's that has some of the best local oysters you will try. This area's got that old Florida soul, but updated with local shops, seafood joints, and an easygoing pace of life that just feels right. Now, this is where people move when they want flip-flop energy without HOA drama. You're not dealing with gated rules and CDD fees. You're dealing with freedom. And if your neighbor has chickens, cool. And the location, well, you're about 40 to 50 minutes from downtown Tampa, 20 to Clearwater Beach, and you've got the Pinellas Trail that just cuts right through for biking, walking, or really whatever. It's active, but chill. Beachy, but not bougie. Price-wise, there's a wide range. You'll find small single-family homes in the 400,000s or waterfront spots that'll push you well into the 800,000s and beyond. But compared to St. Pete or Dunedin, you're getting serious value for that coastal lifestyle. Bottom line here, if you're craving sunset, schools, and salty air, this is the kind of suburb that just hits different. But maybe the coastal lifestyle isn't really your priority. Maybe being back closer to Tampa, but with a more laid-back vibe that has some serious clout is what you're after. Let's go ahead and talk about Lutz because it's got space, schools, and zero need for hype. You want me to go?
Let's go.
If there's one suburb on the list that brings a little something for everyone, it's Lutz. You want space and land? Lutz has it. Looking for a low maintenance, new build in a quiet cul-de-sac? It's here. Prefer a gated country club lifestyle in a top tier community? Let me introduce you to Cheval. Lutz isn't flashy, but it's versatile. And that's what makes it so powerful. You're just 25 minutes to downtown, 20 minutes to the airport, and sandwiched perfectly between Carrollwood, Wesley Chapel, and Northdale. That means access to every major corridor. I-275, Dale Mabry, the Veterans, it all connects right through here. Now, Lutz isn't a one-note suburb. It's got pockets, and each one tells a different story. You've got equestrian-style properties with acreage. We're talking horses, barns, big lots, and no HOA telling you what to do. These are perfect for folks who want freedom and land without driving to the middle of nowhere. Then on the other hand, you've got well-kept subdivisions with newer homes, many built in the last 5 to 10 years that offer the modern, move-in ready lifestyle. And then there's Cheval, one of the most sought-after gated communities in the entire Tampa Bay area. It's got a private golf course, guarded entrances, custom homes, and a luxury feel without tipping into pretentious. One thing that is unique about Cheval is that majority of its home sites back up to golf courses, nature preserve, or water views, and that is one thing that you will not find in new home communities. And the schools? Lutz feeds into some of the highest rated public schools in the county. That's why this area stays in demand, because it works for real life. Now, here's the thing about Lutz. You've got easy access to grocery stores and all of that, but there's not an overabundance of restaurants and shopping nearby. You're gonna have to drive nearby for more and more options. Prices range from the mid 500,000s for a ranch on a nice lot all the way into the 900,000 plus range if you're eyeing something a little more custom in somewhere like Cheval or with acreage and water access. Lutz is like Tampa's utility player. It does a little bit of everything and it does it well. But now we're heading north, where everything feels fresh, calm, and clean. Up next is a suburb that gives you newer homes, great schools, and a ton of value without the buzz of Wesley Chapel or the traffic near Carrollwood. This next one is gaining a lot of steam in the past few years. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, I just want clean, calm, newer place where I don't have to deal with the noise, the drama, or the chaos, let me go ahead and introduce you to Trinity, because this suburb checks more boxes than people give it credit for. Trinity is about 45 minutes northwest of downtown Tampa, just over the Pasco County line. And I'll say it straight, this isn't a suburb trying to be trendy. It's not chasing nightlife or big city energy. It's chasing peace, simplicity, and stability. You drive into Trinity and everything just feels kind of put together. Clean medians, well-maintained homes, sidewalks where people actually use them. This is the kind of neighborhood where you wave to your neighbors, kids ride their bikes to school, and people actually slow down at stop signs. You're gonna find homes built in the last 10 to 20 years, wide sidewalks, tidy landscapes, and a real sense of pride in the community. The schools here, they're a major win. Trinity Elementary, Seven Springs Middle, Mitchell High. These are just good examples and all well rated with zoning that actually makes sense, and it's a huge draw for families. And day-to-day life, it's just easy. Publix, Target, restaurants, parks, medical, all 5 to 10 minutes away. No long drives just to grab groceries. Pricing is gonna stay super reasonable too. We're talking mid 300,000s all the way up to 600,000s or a little bit more. And that's gonna get you a solid 3 to 4 bedroom home with fenced in yard and nice finishes. If you're good with a little extra drive time, Trinity could give you a newer home, good schools, and a peaceful, ready-to-go community. Now, if none of these 9 felt like exactly your fit, don't worry, because I've still got 4 more suburbs coming up, and trust me, one of them is blowing up right now in a big way. So maybe none of the top 9 suburbs felt like your perfect fit. Don't worry, I've got 4 more wild cards you need to know about in this bonus round. These aren't always front page headlines, but for the right buyer, they might be the best kept secrets in Tampa Bay. The first one's gonna be Valrico, and this suburb plays a little bit safe in a good way. Located just east of Brandon, Valrico is the kind of place people move to when they want well-rounded, good schools, and a solid home for a fair price. You're not gonna find water parks or flashy master plan entrances, but what you will find is quiet neighborhoods, mature landscaping, and homes that hold value. Great for just about anyone, and most importantly, low drama. Next up is Parrish. Now this is the south side boomtown. What if you want new construction, but you're priced out of Wesley Chapel or Riverview? Start looking south, because Parrish is exploding. This area is stacked with national builders. We're talking Neal, Taylor Morrison, Pulte, you name it. New communities are going up fast, and prices are still relatively affordable for what you get. Tons of inventory, big floor plans, and easy access to Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, and I-75. It's not fully built out yet. Expect a little bit of rural going on, but the blueprint, it's massive. Next up, Dunedin. This is one of my favorites. It's the coolest little coastal town nobody told you about. And let's say you're craving charm, walkability, and salt air with personality, say hello to Dunedin. This place is funky, historic, bike-friendly, and sits right on the water just north of Clearwater. You've got craft breweries, golf carts instead of cars, and an artsy, laid-back vibe that locals just love. Great for retirees, creatives, or anyone really burned out on that HOA hamster wheel. Now this is not gonna be cheap, but for lifestyle, it punches way above its weight. And last on the list here is Zephyrhills. It's the dark horse that's getting a glow up. Yep, the town you probably haven't thought twice about is having a serious moment. Thanks to major new construction and a total rebrand from sleepy to suburban smart, communities like Two Rivers are giving Zephyrhills a whole new look. Modern homes, community amenities, and attractions like Surf Park coming soon that will make your jaw drop. It still has that rural edge, but it's coming up fast, and buyers who get in early are gonna be glad they did. Now look, these bonus picks aren't for everyone. But if you're that buyer who's okay being a step ahead of the curve, there's real opportunity in every single one of them. But no matter which suburb stood out to you, here's the truth. Knowing where to live is only half the battle, and here's the thing. The best suburb for you depends on your life, your commute, your family, your vibe, and that's where I come in. If you're moving to Tampa, upgrading, or just trying to figure out where you belong, me and my team are here to help. Reach out to us, as we would love to help you narrow down the best area for you and your family. And if you want to know even more areas, go ahead and check out this playlist. I put together a ton of great neighborhoods for you to check out. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Woo!